For years, we've been told compost must be turned, fluffed, and constantly managed to work. But long before thermometers and plastic bins, farmers quietly built compost that broke down just fine without all the effort. They layered kitchen scraps, dry leaves, and garden waste, then let time, moisture, and soil life do the work. No rushing, no constant turning, just patience and trust in nature's rhythm. This method wasn't lazy, it was wise. It fit busy lives, aging backs, and small gardens. And it still works today. If you've ever felt composting was too much work, this old way might be exactly what your garden and your body has been waiting for. Open almost any compost book, website, or gardening guide, and you'll find a familiar checklist. Composting, we're told, is a biological process. Tiny microbes go to work, breaking down kitchen scraps and yard waste into rich, dark soil. That part is absolutely true. Then comes the rule book. You're taught there are 4 essentials: carbon, nitrogen, water, and oxygen. Brown materials for carbon, green materials for nitrogen, moist but not wet, and air, plenty of it. Oxygen, many guides insist, is what keeps compost healthy. Without enough air, things can go wrong. Smells appear. Progress slows. So the solution offered is almost always the same. Turn it. Mix it. Fluff it. Keep the air moving. On paper, it all makes sense. But for many gardeners, this is where composting stops being simple and starts feeling like homework. Suddenly you're counting ratios, watching moisture levels, and worrying whether you've turned the pile often enough. Miss a step, and it feels like failure. For beginners, and especially for older gardeners, this pressure can be enough to make composting feel intimidating or exhausting before the first peel ever hits the pile. What often gets lost in the rulebook is perspective. Yes, oxygen plays a role, but nature has been breaking down organic matter long before anyone named the process or set schedules for it. Forest floors don't get turned every week. Leaves fall, layers form, moisture settles in, and life does the rest. Slow, steady, and effective. The problem isn't that modern compost advice is wrong, it's that it can make people believe composting must be managed constantly to work at all. And that belief alone has stalled countless good gardens. This chapter isn't here to throw out the science. It's here to soften it. To remind you that compost isn't a machine that fails when you step away. It's a living system that often does its best work when we stop hovering and let it be. Oxygen does have a place in composting. There's no need to deny that. When air is present, aerobic microbes thrive. These tiny workers use oxygen to break down organic matter quickly and cleanly. They generate heat, speed things along, and usually keep strong odors away. This is why turned piles and tumblers can finish compost faster. The science checks out. But here's the part many guides rush past. Speed is not the same as success. When oxygen is limited, a different group of microbes steps in. They work more slowly, yes, but they still work. These organisms don't need constant fluffing or turning. Given enough moisture, layered materials, and time, they quietly break down scraps and garden waste just the same. This process has been happening in soils, forest floors, and old garden corners for thousands of years. Think of a fallen log in the woods. No one turns it. No one aerates it. Yet over time, it softens, darkens, and becomes part of the soil again, rich, crumbly, and alive. That's the key idea here. Compost doesn't fail just because it isn't rushed. Under the right conditions, balanced layers, adequate moisture, and patience, compost can mature beautifully without constant effort. It may take longer, but it often produces deeply rich, fungal-friendly compost that plants love. And for gardeners who value ease, consistency, and sustainability over speed, that trade-off makes sense. This is where the old methods shine. Less turning means less strain on your back. Less worrying means more enjoyment. And the end result is still the same reward gardeners have always sought. Dark, earthy, black gold that feeds the soil and gives back to everything you plant. Sometimes the smartest gardening choice isn't doing more, it's trusting nature to finish the job. The old method begins with a simple shift in mindset. Instead of managing compost, you build it well, then let it be, rather than turning a pile every few days. Traditional gardeners focused on how the pile was formed from the start. They began with a loose base, often small sticks, corn stalks, or coarse garden waste. This wasn't accidental. That rough foundation lifted the pile slightly off the ground and allowed moisture, soil life, and just enough air to move naturally. From there came layers. Kitchen scraps, peelings, and fresh green clippings were added, then gently covered with browns, dry leaves, straw, old grass, or shredded paper. Not measured, not obsessed over, just balanced by eye and experience. Greens fed the microbes. Browns absorbed moisture and prevented smells. Each layer rested quietly on the last. Here's the part modern advice often skips. The structure itself mattered. Those coarse browns and natural layers created countless tiny air pockets. Not the kind you get from aggressive turning, but enough for life to breathe where it needed to. Oxygen moved slowly. Microbes adjusted. Fungi spread. Decomposition happened steadily, without disruption. No poking, no prodding, no weekly reminders. This method closely mirrors what happens on a forest floor. Leaves fall. Twigs land where they may. Moisture settles in. Nothing is turned. Yet year after year, the soil becomes deeper, darker, and more alive. Nature doesn't rush, and it doesn't stall either. For gardeners, this approach offers something precious: peace. You can add to the pile as scraps become available. You can walk away for weeks without worry. And instead of feeling like compost is another task to keep up with, it becomes part of the background rhythm of the garden. Slow, steady, wonderfully effective. Sometimes the best systems are the ones that work quietly, asking very little, and giving back generously in return. This old method truly shines when gardening is meant to fit into your life, not take it over. It works best for a set-and-forget compost pile, the kind you build once, add to as needed, and trust to do its work quietly in the background. There's no schedule to keep up with and no tools leaning against. The fence waiting for you. You build it right, then let time and nature handle the rest. It's especially well suited for cooler seasons. When temperatures drop, even heavily turned compost piles slow down. The old method accepts that slowdown instead of fighting it. Decomposition continues gently beneath the surface, protected by layers of browns and natural insulation. Come spring, you're often rewarded with rich, usable compost waiting right where you left it. This approach is also ideal when your energy, time, or mobility is limited. Maybe your back isn't as strong as it once was. Maybe life is busy. Or maybe you simply want gardening to feel peaceful again, not like another responsibility. With this method, there's no lifting heavy piles or remembering when you last turned them. The pile works while you rest. It's perfect for gardeners who value consistency over speed. You may not get finished compost in record time, but what you get is reliable, forgiving, and deeply nourishing to the soil. Many gardeners find the compost produced this way supports strong root growth and healthy soil life, especially when mixed gently into beds or used as a top dressing. If your goal is practical, low-maintenance composting, this method offers a beautiful solution. It respects your time, it respects your body, and it reminds you that gardening doesn't have to be loud or demanding to be effective. Sometimes the most sustainable systems are the ones that quietly keep going season after season, asking very little and giving plenty in return. Even the simplest methods benefit from a little wisdom, and this old approach is no different. The beauty of it is forgiveness, not perfection. Still, knowing a few gentle adjustments can keep your pile moving along comfortably. One common slowdown happens when materials become too compacted or too wet. Without realizing it, we sometimes add too many kitchen scraps in a row, or heavy, soggy layers that press everything down. When that happens, decomposition doesn't stop, but it does take a nap. The fix is easy and familiar. Add more dry browns. A layer of dry leaves, straw, shredded paper, or old grass clippings can lift the pile, absorb excess moisture, and restore balance without effort. On the other side of the spectrum, a pile can become too dry, especially in hot weather or undercover. Compost organisms need moisture to survive. If the pile looks dusty or feels brittle, give it a light drink. Think of a damp sponge that's been wrung out, not a soaked towel. A little water goes a long way, and slow compost prefers steady moisture over sudden drenching. Here's a comforting truth many gardeners appreciate. You're allowed to help, but you don't have to. If you ever want faster results, you can turn the pile occasionally. Maybe once a season. Maybe only when you feel like it. Turning can wake things up and redistribute materials. But it's a choice, not a requirement. Compost doesn't demand constant attention to succeed. This chapter is about releasing pressure. Composting is not a test you can fail. It's a relationship you grow into. When something feels off, you adjust gently and move on. With this method, success isn't measured in speed or strict rules. It's measured in ease, patience, and the quiet satisfaction of letting nature work with you, not against you. Gardening has always been more than just planting seeds and watching them grow. It's a dialogue, a gentle conversation between your hands, your heart, and the land beneath your feet. Every garden tells a story, not of instant results, but of patience, attention, and quiet dedication. And compost, in all its humble, earthy glory, is the heart of that story. We've spent these chapters exploring rules, science, and alternative methods. We've seen how modern guides emphasize oxygen, ratios, and constant turning. We've also seen how traditional gardeners, with nothing more than keen observation and patience, built compost that nourished the soil and sustained their gardens for generations. Their secret wasn't shortcuts or clever gadgets, it was respect for natural rhythms, an understanding of layers, and the willingness to let life take its course. This is where the real lesson lies. Compost is not a task to master. It is a partner to trust. It works quietly, steadily, transforming scraps, leaves, and clippings into rich, fertile soil that welcomes every seed. And in that transformation, there is a deeper teaching, the value of letting go, of stepping back, and of believing that slow, consistent effort, even when it seems invisible, yields results. Think of your garden as a classroom of life. Composting the old way teaches resilience, patience, and balance. It reminds you that not everything worthwhile must be rushed or forced. Sometimes, the most profound progress happens while we simply observe and nurture, rather than constantly intervene. Those tiny microbes and fungi, working unseen, mirror the quiet processes in our own lives. Growth, change, and renewal often take time, and the results are sweeter for it. So let your compost rest. Let the layers do their work. Sprinkle your greens, cover them with browns. Maintain gentle moisture, and trust the rhythm of nature. Don't feel pressured to turn it constantly or micromanage every detail. Instead, take a moment to listen to the soil, to the garden, and to the wisdom that has been passed down through generations. In doing so, you connect not just with the land beneath your feet, but with the hands of gardeners who came before you. You participate in a timeless cycle of giving and receiving, where every peel, every leaf, every straw of hay becomes part of something greater. And when the compost finally transforms into that rich, dark, fragrant soil, ready to cradle your seeds, you'll understand what gardeners have known for centuries. The greatest results often come from patience, respect, and the quiet art of letting nature do the heavy lifting. Gardening isn't just science, it's patience. It's listening. It's learning from what came before us. It's recognizing that life, much like compost, grows best when we give it time, space, and care.